Hello everybody, and as many of you know, in 3.8 Durandal will be added to the game where she will be a lance user. And what this means, as of 3.8, we have 7 types of weapons, from pistols, cannons, katanas, greatswords, crosses, gauntlets, scythes, as well as lances. But unlike other types of equipment, in 3.8 we only have 3 lances. A 2-star lance, a free-to-play 4-star lance, as well as a signature gacha lance for Durandal. On its own, this would not mean that much because they will add more lances as the game goes on, especially during events, for example. But then I began thinking about gauntlets, scythes, as well as crosses where they barely have that much variation in them. Whether it be 3-star or 4-star stuff, we really do not have that much variation or choices. And I still remember when scythes were first released in the game where I was like, oh, they will add more as the game goes on, but as we see, there really wasn't that much added. Just for reference here, aside from the new pre-arm in 3.8, there are 7 scythes in the game that are 4-star, but 5 of them are signature scythes where the other 2 are free to play and only one of them is actually usable. And when it comes to 3-star scythes, we have only 4. And remember, Rita was released around October at the end of 2018, so it's been approximately a year and 5 months since Rita was added, but in terms of new scythes added to the game where they are not signature scythes, we have possibly 1 scythe added, the Moment of Truth scythe, which if I remember was from an event. This is a shame because they can add something like a Ranger scythe as we see with, the Ranger series, or maybe add a Divine Key scythe, which would not make sense from a lore perspective, possibly, but they can figure something out. Yes, there is the addition of a pre-arm for 3.8, but that is only for a specific scythe and for one specific Valkyrie. Compare that to katanas, where both Frozen Naraka and Mag Typhoon were released on the same patch. Gauntlets seem to have a similar problem, but to a lesser extent. In fact, as some of you might know, 3.8 was supposed to release with a gacha-only gauntlet, but it was postponed until a different patch in the future, possibly 4.0, we are not sure. Not to mention crosses, which compared to gauntlets and scythes does seem to have more variety. Still, this is the case for only scythes, gauntlets, and crosses, because when you look at greatswords, katanas, cannons, and pistols, you have a much different story. Each category has a plethora of different 4-star weapons, whether it be free-to-play or stuff that you can only get from gacha. Now, I am not saying that all of them are good, far from it, but you still have a lot of different variations. You still have a lot of different options. Each one of them has its own unique effect that is either passive or active, or in some cases both. Obviously, this is not surprising considering that the game launched with these equipments, so it does make sense that in 3 years you have many different new additions, but a lot of the different options we have today for pistols, katanas, greatswords, as well as cannons were still present as well back then. In addition, in 3.8, we are even getting a new greatsword that is free to play. Granted, it is meant more as a celebration for post-Honkai Odyssey, and it does seem to be a great sword if I were to be honest. However, it does make me wonder why not give us more lances as well. 3.8 is the release of Durandal for the first time, but as of making this video, there isn't a single 3-star lance. Again, they will add more in the future, but judging on the previous record for crosses, scythes, as well as gauntlets, I'm kind of questioning how many new lances we will get in the next 2 to 3 years. At this point, some of you are arguing most likely that, well, you know what, I do not want a lot of useless weapons, I would rather just have some good ones. And you know what, I get it. I get that a lot of people care about the meta more than anything else, but in my case, I would rather have just other cool stuff in the game. It's not just about the meta. This is not to say that I do not care about gacha at all. In fact, right now I am saving for the Might of an Utu gacha whenever it comes on the Japanese server, since I do not have a single greatsword gacha there, but just the idea that we will get a free-to-play greatsword in 3.8 is very exciting for me. Now I have more stuff to experiment with and more builds to recommend people and more options. events, something that I hope we will get more for lances and hopefully more for scythes in the future. Will we get a new lance only when a new Valkyrie is released, or will we get more scythes as well as lances during events? This is stuff that we will have to see as time goes on, but it is something that I am concerned by. Because remember, having more options in the game is good whether it be for meta or not. Still, this is just my own opinion, so please tell me yours in the comments below. Which type of equipment you would like to see the game add more in the future? Maybe more crosses, scythes, or gauntlets, or lances? Please tell me in the comments below. I am very interested in reading your opinion. But until my next video, which should be about the official release of 3.8, thank you for watching and I hope you have a nice day.